Hey there. Still here. Still very pregnant. I don't actually think you can see it, but I'll stand up so that you can. Still very much pregnant. Oops. I just had soup, and I guess I spilled some on myself that I didn't notice. My bad. It happens, right? So, it's actually pretty late. Well, it's not pretty late. It's later than usual. Matt is actually out on an overnight camping trip. I am 40 weeks pregnant, and it's 7 o'clock. So, I figured this is as good as a time as any to kind of talk about or do a brief overview of kind of what I'm looking at for postpartum and getting back to a fitness regimen. So to start with, I will be following doctor's orders. I'm not going to try to be one of those people who is like, oh, it's been 2 weeks, I'm going to go do it. No. I will be looking, when I leave the hospital, I'm going to be asking, hey, what can I do as far as, recovery of working out and at every appointment. So basically this is once I get cleared, usually at 6 weeks. I'm hoping for 4 weeks, but usually don't get full clearance until 6 weeks, and by full clearance, I mean there is nothing holding you back. Like at 4 weeks, you can be cleared, but you shouldn't be pushing yourself. And then at 6 weeks, you can get completely cleared where you can lift as heavy as you want as long as you don't have any pain. So that's what this is in reference to. I feel like I just spent a lot of time, but I just know people are going to be like, oh my God, no, this is what doctors say. I'm doing that. This is after that part. So, one of the big things that I was doing before getting pregnant and I guess in the early stages was I was transitioning from a power building program into more of a bodybuilding program. Both programs were done by Kaizen Training. I'll link their stuff below. Super awesome training programs. One is 16 weeks, one is 12 weeks. It's a one-time fee and you get all this information. You get... Basically, it's like not a personal coach, but it's pretty darn close. And for it was less than $70 for both of them. Well, for each of them. And if you look at the deals, we actually got each for 50% off because they were like around Thanksgiving. So with that being said, I will not be going back to a bodybuilding program just yet, simply because I am wanting to breastfeed exclusively, either if that means breast milk, either if that means breastfeeding from the boob or pumping. I am wanting to produce breast milk for my baby as much as possible exclusively to avoid having to get formula, just because of my own reasons, and I can talk about that in a different time. So I would have to be eating a lot of extra calories to make sure that my body can produce the milk that's needed for the baby, as well as take care of myself, because a lot of stuff happens postpartum, and so keep my health up and keep her fed. And I do want to start lifting weights. So instead of doing power building, I'm going to be going to a power lifting cycle where I am just going to cut the 3 bodybuilding days from the power building program and only focus on the 3 powerlifting days. I might try to throw in an extra 4th day, just like work up to like a 1 rep max on each lift and just cycle that through. But with all the extra calories that will be consumed, I'm wanting to use them not just to, recover and make sure that she's fed, but to also build my muscle back up. Because I know a lot of it has atrophied simply because I haven't been able to lift as much or as heavy as I was. And I know my body composition is going to be very, very different. So the main goal is to build my muscle back up, not necessarily lose fat, simply because I'm breastfeeding and fat is really, really good for that. So that's the base of it. I would like to be able to compete in a powerlifting competition within the year. That would be a big goal. I just want to get strong again. I really hate having to work out with dumbbells all the time. I miss deadlifting. I miss squatting. I miss heavy weights. And that is my first goal postpartum, is to get back to heavy lifting. Also, with the heavy lifting and, you know, after being pregnant, a lot of what can happen is you a lot goes on to a pregnant woman's body when it comes to everything. Hormone fluctuations, weight fluctuations, your bone density can actually go down because of the minerals being pulled from your bones. And one way to make sure to build up your bone density, again, is lifting weights. So a lot of this recovery postpartum is going to be heavy lifting, simply because I have a lot to rebuild. I don't need to worry about fat loss. I need to worry about making sure my muscles are strong again, that my bones are strong again, that I am strong again, all while taking care of my baby who is dependent on me for sustenance. So how it's going to look is that with I'll link the power building program as well. You do get a 4-week free preview. So as I go through it, I'm probably just going to talk about the first 4 weeks that are free. And then once those weeks are over, I won't be as detailed because those aren't the free ones. And if you're interested in it, you should buy the full program and support these guys because they're really, really good at what they do. It's Bart Kwan, Omar Yusuf, and Mike Farr, also known as Silent Mike. I could not remember his name. Oh, I feel so bad. He's the one we heard all about Kaizen from. Anyway, with some other people. But, so how it rotates is like on the first day for your powerlifting, you do like deadlifts. Deadlifts are the main movement. You'll do squat and bench, but you'll do like deadlift variation, bench and squat. And then the next day is going to be upper body, I believe, and it's bench variations. And then the third day is squat variations. So each day you're kind of doing all the main lifts, but you're focusing on one lift each. I won't be starting immediately at my old PRs. I think I have to drop my PRs somewhat while building back up. So I think I'm only going to be dropping the weight by like 50 pounds for squat and dead. And I'm not really dropping weight for bench because I have been able to bench press, I haven't been able to really push myself. And I think I've been working at like a 20-pound drop, maybe a 10-pound drop. So I'm expecting bench press to go really, really well. I'm expecting to bounce back into bench press very well. I'm expecting to bounce back into deadlifting. I think squats will be the hardest simply because of all the pelvic pressure that squats do cause. And after having a baby, that's kind of a concern because your uterus and all your intestines are switching around and stuff, and bracing can cause some extra pelvic pressure. And I'm predicting squats will probably be more painful than the other two lifts for a longer amount of time. So yeah, that is my basic early postpartum plan, is to get back into powerlifting. I mean, powerlifting is what got me started into weightlifting, so I figured that is a really good place to start. It's heavy, it's quick, and I just feel like it's going to align really, really well with how my life's going to be changing. Taking care of a newborn, even with being on leave from work for 8 weeks and then transitioning back into work, I feel like powerlifting will be something that I can keep up with. And also I'm really excited about making a goal to hopefully compete in a powerlifting competition within the year. I have not looked to see where they're all at. So that's going to be probably once we get to May or June. That's when I'll figure out when I want to compete, and that'll probably start the prep for the powerlifting meet. But as far as that goes, that is my basic plan so far. So yeah, if you have any questions about why I'm deciding to do it, if you want to share out what your postpartum fitness plans were, I would totally appreciate that, because I'm just looking for anything and everything. This is my first time, and I really hope that I'm not being too crazy with it. So yeah, do the liking, do the subscribing, check out my other videos. There's going to be more of this. But right now, we're just waiting on baby. So thanks for watching.